On our anniversary, she threw my gift in the trash. "I don't want handmade junk," she said. I didn't argue. I just took it out of the trash. The next day, she saw it in a gallery window with a $10,000 price tag. "My name is Michael, I'm 37, and I do custom woodworking, not furniture exactly, more like art pieces, boxes, sculptures, decorative works. It takes time, takes skill, doesn't make me rich, but it pays the bills. I've been doing it for 8 years since leaving my corporate job, the best decision I ever made." I'd been with Sarah for 3 years. She's 34, works in real estate, makes good money, better than me most months. She never let me forget it, with little comments about being the breadwinner, how I play with wood while she does real work. I let it slide because when things were good, they were really good. But lately, there'd been more bad than good. Our 3rd anniversary was yesterday. I'd spent 3 months working on her gift in my spare time between paid commissions, a jewelry box, a masterpiece of walnut and maple inlay, hand-carved details, dovetail joints so tight you couldn't slide paper between them, secret compartments, magnetic catches. Hundreds of hours spread over months to get it right. I gave it to her over dinner at home, her favorite meal, candles, the whole setup. She opened the wrapping and just looked at it, no smile, no surprise, nothing. She asked what it was. I told her it was a jewelry box for her collection. She had a lot of expensive jewelry, and I thought she'd appreciate something handmade, personal. She set it down and said she thought I was getting her the $4,000 Tiffany bracelet she'd shown me last month. I told her I couldn't afford it right now, business had been slow. She picked up the box, turned it over like she was inspecting a defective product, and said she didn't want handmade junk. Then she stood, walked to the kitchen, and threw it in the trash. The wooden box hit the bottom with a thud. She brushed her hands together like she was disposing of garbage and walked out. I sat there for a minute, didn't yell, didn't argue, just processed. 3 months of work, hundreds of hours, in the trash because it wasn't from Tiffany. I got up, pulled the box out of the trash, some coffee grounds on one corner, I wiped them off. Sarah was in the bedroom by then, on the phone with her friend Emily, laughing about her disappointing anniversary, calling my handmade gift junk I tried to pass off as a real present. I packed the box in bubble wrap, put it in my truck, and went back inside. Sarah was still on the phone. I told her I was going out, she waved me off without looking. I drove to Bennett's Gallery downtown. I'd been working with Laura, the owner, for 2 years, selling smaller pieces through her. She'd been asking for more inventory, but I focused on commissioned work. We had a standard consignment agreement, 50-50 split, fair terms. Laura was closing when I arrived, but she let me in. I unwrapped the box and set it on her counter. She put on her glasses, examined every detail, joints, inlay, compartments, magnetic catches, for a few minutes without speaking. Finally, she asked where I'd been hiding this level of work. I told her I'd been doing it all along, she just hadn't seen my best pieces. This one was supposed to be a gift, but it didn't work out. She asked if it was for sale. I said it was now. She set it down carefully and said she needed to do some research, but her gut told her it was gallery quality, real gallery quality. She'd handled similar work, knew the market, and thought she could sell it for $8,000 to $10,000, maybe more to the right collector. I must have looked shocked because she explained this level of craftsmanship was rare, the inlay alone was museum quality. She had collectors who specialized in fine woodwork. She wanted to photograph it, get it appraised, and display it in the front window, which would take a few days. I told her to do what she needed. We updated our consignment agreement for this piece, she'd handle insurance while it was in her possession, and I'd get half the sale price. I drove home feeling something I hadn't felt in months, not anger, not sadness, just clarity, like everything made sense. Sarah was asleep when I got back, or pretending to be. I didn't care. I slept in the spare room. The next morning, I went to my workshop early to finish a client commission. Sarah left for work without a word. I heard her car pull out around 8. Over the next 2 days, Laura handled documentation, professional photos, a condition report, and provenance paperwork. An independent appraiser confirmed her assessment. Comparable pieces sold for $8,000 to $12,000 at auction. She listed it at $10,500. On Thursday, 3 days after I brought it in, Laura called. The box was in the front window, prime spot, perfectly lit, price tag visible. She'd had 2 serious inquiries, with a collector coming Saturday to examine it closely. I thanked her and went back to work. Friday afternoon, my phone blew up, 8 missed calls from Sarah, 15 texts. She'd seen the box in the gallery window, her office was 2 blocks from Bennett's. She recognized the inlay pattern immediately. She wanted to know why my trash art was being sold for over $10,000, if this was a mistake, and demanded I call her. I sent one text: "The handmade junk found a better home with someone who appreciates craftsmanship." Then I muted her notifications and finished my workday. She was waiting in the driveway when I got home, car running, face red. She started yelling before I opened my door, demanding to know if that was my box, if someone was really paying $10,000 for it. I said it might sell for that. Laura had interested buyers, it was properly appraised, market value for that level of work. Sarah's expression shifted from angry to calculating. She said we needed to talk, that maybe she'd overreacted about the gift, that it was actually beautiful, and she could see that now. She'd been stressed from work, took it out on me, and was sorry. I asked if she was sorry she threw it away or sorry it was worth money. She backtracked, said that wasn't fair, she really felt bad. And since we'd been together 3 years, she should get something from the sale, right? Maybe for a vacation or that bracelet. I told her the money was mine, from my work, skill, and time. I'd already decided what to do with it: pay off my truck, invest in better equipment, save the rest. None of it was going toward jewelry for someone who threw my work in the trash. That's when the real fight started. She called me petty, vindictive, said I was punishing her for one mistake, that I should have told her the box was valuable. How was she supposed to know? I explained that value wasn't the point. I didn't make it to sell, I made it for her because I loved her, to give her something meaningful, unique. She threw it away because it wasn't from a store, didn't have a brand name. That told me everything about how she saw my work, how she saw me. She tried crying, said she knew she'd messed up, wanted to make it right, that 3 years together meant something, that she loved me. I asked when she started loving me, before or after she found out the trash was worth $10,000? She left, peeling out of the driveway. I went inside, made dinner, ate alone. It was peaceful. The next few days were quiet. Sarah stayed at Emily's place, sent texts about needing space. Fine by me. It gave me time to work and think. On Monday, Laura called. The collector from Saturday offered $10,000 cash, a fair price from a legitimate buyer, a well-known figure in the woodworking art community. I told her to accept. The sale closed Wednesday, the wire transfer came Thursday morning, $5,000 after the gallery split. I paid off the $3,000 left on my truck and put $2,000 into savings for a new lathe I'd needed for months. Thursday afternoon, Sarah showed up unannounced, letting herself in with her key. I was in the workshop, I heard the door and found her in the kitchen. She said she'd been thinking, maybe we needed a break to evaluate what we wanted, that we might not be compatible anymore. I kept my expression neutral, said that was probably smart. She seemed surprised I agreed so easily, asked if I was even going to fight for the relationship. I asked what she wanted me to fight for. She said she wanted me to care, to show I'd work on things. I reminded her I'd spent 3 months caring, hundreds of hours creating something unique for her. She threw it in the garbage and laughed about it to her friends. Now she wanted me to fight for the relationship? That ship sailed when the box hit the trash can. She got defensive, said I'd never let that go, that I was holding one mistake over her head forever. I told her it wasn't about grudges, it was about seeing clearly for the first time. She valued things she could show off, things with price tags and brand names. I valued time, effort, meaning. We wanted fundamentally different things. She'd done me a favor by showing that so clearly. She grabbed a few things and left, saying I'd regret this, that I was giving up something good over my ego. I went back to work. The following week brought unexpected developments. The collector, James, reached out to Laura about a potential commission, a custom piece, similar style, $12,000 budget. I was interested. Laura set up a meeting. James flew in from San Francisco 2 weeks later. We spent 3 hours discussing the commission, his vision, my process, timeline. He knew woodworking, asked good questions, appreciated craftsmanship. We agreed on terms, half upfront, half on completion, 6-month timeline. The deposit hit my account within a week. This changed everything. One commission led to visibility. Laura pushed my work harder, built a proper portfolio, reached out to other galleries. Within a month, 2 more galleries, one in Denver, one in Portland, wanted to carry my pieces on consignment. Emily, Sarah's friend, called 3 weeks after the breakup. Said Sarah was struggling, realized she'd made a huge mistake, wanted to apologize properly, asked if we could meet for coffee. I told Emily that Sarah had my number, if she wanted to apologize, she could call directly. Emily said Sarah was embarrassed, knew she'd acted badly, needed a chance to make things right. I asked Emily if Sarah would be reaching out if the box had sold for $50 instead of $10,000. Emily went quiet, then admitted Sarah had been talking constantly about the money, my talent, how she could have had a piece worth thousands, my new commission, and gallery interest. I thanked Emily for her honesty and ended the call. That told me everything. For weeks after the breakup, Sarah showed up at my workshop unannounced, despite the closed sign. I was working on James's commission. She started talking about our relationship. I set down my tools and told her to leave. I was working. She saw the piece, the expensive wood, the detailed plan on my workbench. Her eyes widened. She asked if it was another commission. I said it was a $12,000 commission. She asked how many I was getting. I told her that wasn't her business anymore, she needed to leave. She changed tactics, said she'd been thinking, understood what she'd lost, not just the relationship, but being with someone whose work was being recognized. She could support my career now, understood the value of what I did. I asked if she understood that value before the price tag or after. She struggled, said it wasn't about the money, but everything she said revolved around recognition, commissions, galleries, nothing about me, us, just what my work was becoming. I told her we were done completely, to stop showing up. She started crying, real tears, said she loved me, made a mistake, but people make mistakes, and I couldn't throw away 3 years. I reminded her she threw away 3 months of my work without a second thought, called it junk, laughed to her friends. Now she claimed to love me, loved the idea of being with someone whose work sold for thousands, not the same thing. She tried to hug me. I stepped back, said I'd drop her remaining stuff at Emily's place that weekend. We were done talking. She left. I watched her car disappear and felt only relief. 6 weeks after the breakup, I finished James's commission. He flew back to see it, spent an hour examining every detail, thrilled. He paid the balance immediately and asked if I'd do 2 more pieces, smaller scale, $8,000 each. His friends had seen the jewelry box and wanted similar work. I accepted. This was becoming real, sustainable. I raised my rates, got selective about commissions, focused on pieces that challenged my skills. 2 months post-breakup, a local arts magazine reached out for a feature on emerging artisans, recommended by Laura. I agreed to an interview and photo shoot. The article came out a month later, a big spread with photos of me in my workshop, several pieces, including the jewelry box. James gave permission to photograph it. It covered my journey from corporate work to artisan, growing gallery representation, commissions, and my waiting list. My phone exploded with inquiries, 4 new galleries, 8 commission requests, 2 more interview requests from bigger publications. My website crashed from traffic. I had to upgrade my hosting. Sarah sent me a link to the article with one word, wow. I didn't respond. 3 months after the breakup, I ran into Sarah at a restaurant during a business dinner with Laura and a potential client. Sarah was with a guy I didn't know, younger, in a suit. She saw me, I gave a polite nod, turned back to my conversation, but watched her from the corner of my eye. She kept glancing over, talking to her date but watching me. She excused herself toward the restrooms. I needed to use them too. In the hallway, she was waiting, asked how I was. I said business was good. She'd seen the article, said she was happy for me, proud even. I thanked her and tried to walk past. She stepped in my way slightly, said she was seeing someone new, not serious, still thought about me, us, wondered if we could talk. I said I was happy she was moving on, I had too. She asked if I was seeing someone. I said that wasn't relevant. What was relevant was I'd learned not to ignore red flags, not to stay with someone who didn't respect my work or time. She'd taught me that clearly. I was grateful. Her face fell. She asked if I'd ever forgive her. I said there was nothing to forgive. She'd shown me who she was. I believed her. We'd both moved on. I wished her well, walked to the restroom. When I returned, she was gone. Her date sat alone, confused. I went back to my table and closed a $15,000 commission. For months after the breakup, I opened my own studio space, a small workshop and gallery. Laura helped with layout, lighting, display, becoming a genuine friend and mentor. Opening night was busy. I sold 3 pieces, booked 5 commissions. My parents came, my sister, real friends who'd supported my career change years ago. Sarah showed up, stood outside the window, dressed up, watching for 10 minutes, never came in, then left. That was 5 months ago. I haven't heard from her since. My business is thriving. James became a regular client. His collector friends keep me booked for 8 months. I've raised prices twice, still can't keep up with demand. I've been seeing someone new, Anna, a librarian, for 6 weeks. She knows nothing about woodworking but asks questions, genuinely curious, wants to understand why I love it. She spent an afternoon watching me work, called it meditative, peaceful, loved seeing something beautiful created from raw materials. I gave her a small wooden bookmark I made. she cried, said it was the most thoughtful gift she'd ever received, carries it in her purse, shows it to people, not for its worth, but because someone made it for her. That's the difference, what I was looking for all along. The jewelry box lives in James's private collection now. He sends photos occasionally, keeps it in his study to store his late wife's jewelry, says it reminds him of permanence, things built to last, the value of craftsmanship. Sarah reached out one last time 6 months after everything ended, a long email, apologizing, saying she'd grown, understood what she'd lost, not money or status, but me, our relationship, the future we could have had. She'd been shallow, materialistic, had changed, asked to meet for coffee, no expectations. I read it twice, then deleted it. Some things can't be fixed, some bridges burn completely. She threw away something valuable because she couldn't see past the surface, because it didn't have a brand name. That showed her values, her character. Maybe she's changed, maybe not, it doesn't matter. I'm building a life, a career, a reputation. Every piece I make means something, takes time, care, skill. The right person appreciates that, treasures it, understands meaning isn't in price tags or brand names, it's in the hours spent, the attention to detail, the love poured into creation. Sarah wasn't that person, she proved it when the box hit the trash. The $10,000 price tag just confirmed what I already knew. The real value was always there, she couldn't see it, but I can, and so can the people who matter. Anna sees it, James sees it, Laura sees it, the collectors and galleries see it. That's enough.